Greetings, Legionnaires! Today I bring you news of my one-on-one with Venom. Is the film worth seeing in theaters, or should Sony just stop trying to make this connected Spider-Man universe without Spider-Man? Well, I'll tell you all that and more with a brief spoiler-free plot synopsis, the highlights, and the shortcomings.
Our tale focuses on Eddie Brock, an investigative reporter who prides himself on digging up dirt, covering major societal events, and dragging skeletons out of corporate closets. Although he failed to find career success back home in New York, he has found a stable footing reporting in San Francisco. Everything seems to be turning up Eddie, as he's also found love in his longtime girlfriend, Andy. Sadly, things take a turn for the worst when he does some impromptu snooping on his lawyer lady friend's computer, whose firm is working with the Life Foundation, the target of his next interview. The person in question is scientific genius and multimillionaire Carlton Drake. Eddie's eventual aggressive line of questioning during their meeting lands him in some hot water, as he accuses the CEO and the company of unethical scientific practices. After losing both his and his girlfriend their jobs, his credibility and romance are in equal tatters. Flash forward 6 months after these events and the reclamation of one of the Life Foundation's downed spaceships carrying an entirely new species, Eddie finds himself alone and out of work. However, after a run-in with one of Drake's employees who grows a conscience, Eddie finds himself likewise hunted and infected with one of these newly found symbiotes. It now falls to our unlikely hero and his newfound ally to prevent the Life Foundation from utterly annihilating the planet. Let's begin as we always do with the strengths of our foe. Oddly enough, the comedy was the best aspect of the entire film. Truly it is a core tenet or pillar of the whole package. Tom Hardy's portrayal of Eddie Brock both with and without Venom is fun to watch. Despite his strange New York accent, Brock is so likable and witty, which makes him easy to root for. The picture also manages to set up a decent romance between him and Anne, played by Michelle Williams early on. The real star of the show is, of course, our titular anti-hero Venom, voiced also by Tom Hardy. His speech is guttural, sharp, and cruel, which is perfect.
The way I see it, we can do whatever we want.
Venom's natural solution to most problems is just to eat whomever stands in their way. This, paired with Eddie's desire to help humanity, offers many hilarious moments. On top of that, the effects used to bring Venom to life are mesmerizing to behold, at times. There just sadly wasn't enough of him completely transformed throughout the film. The action was serviceable, with some of the earlier fights being not only a surprise to the assailants, but to Eddie himself, as Venom took control of most of the hostilities. Hardy's ability to not only be a compelling actor, but also a comical actor, is on full display during these moments, as he often apologizes for the outcomes of these brutal brawls. No foe is without flaw, and Venom is no exception. The two biggest detriments were the lackluster yarn being spun, and every other special effect besides Venom. Basically, the plot boils down to an old superhero cliche of mean scientist becomes insane scientist, and our hero must defeat him even though they possess nearly identical powers. This can be felt most prominently before Venom's true appearance, where the show starts to drag a bit. As mentioned before, the CGI is downright atrocious at times. A lack of physicality can be felt in many scenes where symbiotes, drones, or even space shuttles are featured. The biggest offender has to be the final fight scene, which is a literal computer-generated goop fest. Overall, Venom could have been much worse. Hardy's performances carry the tale through the doldrums, and his relationship with the symbiote makes this feel much more like a dark buddy cop comedy. Egregious use of unconvincing CGI and a tired old plot keep Venom from reaching its vast potential.
Legionnaires, agree with my review? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check out next week's Critical Podcast, where we'll be discussing this film at length. If you enjoyed this video, consider liking it, subscribing to the channel, or donating to us over on patreon.com/criticalreviews to see more reviews just like this one. But either way, thank you so much for dropping by. We do appreciate it. And just remember to adapt and overcome.